MBA program to be, like being from one of the most prestigious institutions, which we call as Xavier Institute of Management, Bhuvneshwar. So, what do you feel are the key assets or the key insights of being a good MBA program?
So there are two things to the MBA program, I would say. One is the brand associated with that program. The second part, which is 70-30 ratio of great faculty to good faculty. What an MBA expectation should look like, they're driven by these high packages that we read in newspapers of IIM graduates, and these are exceptions of 1 crore mil gaya usko, usko 80 lakhs mil gaya, and all of that. They set these false expectations for majority of MBA aspirants from the industry level as well. I would say that the quality of the companies and the quality of the professors, these are the one of the two major aspects that should define the decision of selection for any MBA aspirant.
If you are thinking that I'm a this skill-based expert, maybe in the times to come with that, with this AI thing and transformation happening, maybe you are not required.
AI is this assistant that is augmenting us to be a specialist in almost everything. The job market is changing with the advent of AI, with the adoption of AI. Game 2000, you used to learn some language, it will at least last you 5-7 years, Yeah. But today in 2025, you learn something and then maybe 6 months later, it's not there.
Vanished.
It's vanished.
Hello, MBA aspirants. Welcome to today's session, to this beautiful session of Industry Connect, which brings you a lot of meaning, value, and insight. And that's why I call it Real Voices, Real Insight. So, friends, let me give you a summary about this session. Industry Connect is a conversation series which is designed to bridge the gap between campus learning as well as the corporate realities. Every episode that we brings here brings a leader from diverse industry backgrounds to share their first-hand experiences, their lessons, their insight, which as students you cannot get in your textbook series. So, friends, through these candid discussions that we do with our guests, students get a chance to explore what it really takes to build careers, what is industry expectation, what it takes to lead the change, as well as to be future ready in this rapidly evolving environment. So, friends, today I have an opportunity to be with me as my guest, Mr. Madhusudhan Goyal. Mr. Madhusudhan Goyal is the technical solution architect with HDFC Life, and he's done his MBA from Xavier Institute of Management, Bhuvneshwar, XIMB. So, Mr. Madhusudhan Goyal, let me first welcome you to this beautiful session of Industry Connect.
Thank you, Anuj. It's my pleasure to be part of this series. And as you have mentioned, this series by the name itself, it's something that is very close to my heart as well. And the desire to always know what the industry requires and how to proceed, how to take our careers forward is something that every individual, be it a student or a non-student, career keeps on going, but that desire keeps on changing and rapidly evolving. So it's a pleasure to be part of this series. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Madhusudan. And for all my audience, it is imperative for us to know when we call our guests as our future leaders to introduce them the leadership profile of you. So let me formally introduce you. Mr. Madhusudan is a seasoned professional with over a decade of diversified experience spanning from manufacturing to banking insurance sector. Mr. Sudan has begun his journey with Volvo in engineering quality division. He's developed a sharp focus on engineering precision and analytical problem solving. He's done his engineering from prestigious Thapar Institute of Technology, Patiala, in mechanical engineering, and after that, working with Volvo, and after that, he pursued his MBA from XIMB Bhuvneshwar, which is naturally a most aspirational college for so many management aspirants. And after that, he's transitioned into financial services domain. With the past 6 years, he's been shaping businesses technology outcomes through banking and industry. So currently, Mr. Madhusudan is serving as the technical solution architect at HDFC Life Insurance. He blends a mindset of engineering mindset with managerial acumen to design and implement scalable technology-driven solutions. His work is digital transformation, process automation, system integration, and data driven decision support, which is directly impacting a workforce of 30,000 people, right? 30,000 employees of HDFC Life on a day to day basis, as well as millions of users of HDFC, right? So every decision is counting, every strategic moment is counting. So, Mr. Goyal, thank you for sparing your time for this very, very insightful session.
Thank you, Anuji. I think it's very kind of you to introduce me like that. But I'm pretty sure that these are only words and titles, and it'll be my pleasure to inform all your viewers and all our students what really goes behind, all of these titles and all of these names and all of these accolades. So yeah, looking forward to it.
So, let me start with your journey first. You have done your engineering, right? A BTech in mechanical engineering, and after that, you have done your management. This combination is considered as the golden combination for so many aspirants, and we generally do in our counseling also. A BTech with MBA is a most, I'll say tech managerial combination, right? So, what is your opinion about your experiences? How you feel your technical education have transitioned into a managerial education, as well as now it is helping you in your decision and strategic role making and critical thinking?
That's a very good question, Anuji. I think I have a slightly different view to this in a way that this orientation towards engineering is something which is a very Indian orientation, I would say. So, since we are the millennials, post 91, we are that generation. At that point in time, if you remember 2008, it was the dot com bubble, and then since then, there's been a continuous steady inflow of the IT sector outsourcing in India. So that at the time when I was graduating out of my 12th, there was a heavy focus on engineering led jobs and engineering led fields. So naturally, there was a lot of gravitation towards that discipline in general. And almost all my peers and all my friends are mostly from that engineering background. But cut to 2025, I would say the landscape is very different today. The skills that students have at 12th are way more diversified than we ever had. The exposure that students have today is maybe 500 times more than what we used to have in our times. Over the last 20 years, I think so many things have changed. And just as an example, like when we were in 11th and 12th, we used to listen to music on CD players. And today it's the era of streaming. So we've come a long way in
To an era of AI now,
to an era of AI now, where AI is
whereby
creating
we can
music.
create our own music
Yeah,
now.
where they can only create their own music. So things are rapidly changing. But at that point in time, engineering seemed like the wisest thing to do. And mechanical was something that I was close to because I was good at physics during my preparation for JE and other competitive exams. So there was a natural gravitation towards opting for mechanical engineering. What it brings as an individual change, I would say, is basically an orientation towards problem solving, towards mathematics, having a numerical bent of mind, having an analytical bent of mind is something that develops when we go for engineering. So that is something that engineering usually offers, and it is disciple independent as far as I feel. It could be a mechanical engineer, it could be a computer science engineer, chemical engineer, but that orientation towards analytical thinking, towards problem solving, towards decision making, these kind of skills, they do get their seed in the engineering field. Engineers are not known really for their creativity. They're not known for their sort of out the box thinking. That is something that we cultivate later. And when we go for MBA again, it's been a I'd like to be very, transparent that it's not something that came naturally to me. I was also one of those people who used to not be okay with the idea of an MBA because it used to sound like faceless, in this sea of so many people doing MBA and, so many engineer MBAs and in competitive IIM CAT exams, universities actually give you negative marking if you're an engineer MBA. If you have that sort of profile, you get graded downwards. So all of these factors obviously play a role in making MBA not the first choice primarily. But as so my first basically idea was to gain industry experience right after my graduation. That was the core idea with which I joined Volvo Aisha, and I was lucky to get the opportunity to lead the quality division at Volvo Aisha after 1 year of my stint there, and that industry stint taught me, I think, maximum amount of things. So I would attribute that experience to a lot of professional growth, and in terms of personality and in terms of how we approach work. So those are some things that that particular experience taught me primarily. Many things, I think we can talk about it in other questions, but then after 3 years of working at manufacturing, because there was this need to evolve, to sort of go further and to have a post graduation, MBA started making more sense, because as you start growing the first couple of ladders, then you start understanding what management is, and how things are
Shaping up.
executed in the corporate arena, basically. And then MBA started making sense. So gave my cat, got a decent enough rank, got a call. So yeah, that's been my journey. Post XIMB also is an interesting journey of 2 years for sure. And you have a lot of aspirations and hopes of post MBA placements, and then how your life would look like. And so I can go on and on about those reality versus expectation sort of mismatch bubble that a lot of MBA aspirants have, and then when they are done with their MBA, they feel like, oh, maybe it worked in their favor, but more often than not, people might feel not so great. So that is also another angle to this that we can talk about for sure. I hope I did not digress too much.
No, no, no. I mean, I think this insight and this whole flow is much required, because what you have explained and what you have categorically summarized is your own perspective, right? So I think your answer contains so many aspects in the shades of this decision making thing. Now, coming back to your MBA thing, right? Because generally, as you said, that there's a mix of opinions. Some people may feel they have done justice to their MBA program, or rather, the MBA may have done justice to their career, upliftment. How do you summarize a good MBA program to be, like being from one of the most prestigious institutions, which we call as Xavier Institute of Management, Bhuvneshwar, and students aspire to be a part of that journey? You've already experienced that journey, and now you are connecting yourself down the line after 6 years of experience in industry. So, what do you feel are the key assets or the key insights of being a good MBA program? Which MBA program generally teaches to the student?
So there are two things to the MBA program, I would say. One is the brand associated with that program, which is an outcome of the number of years that program has been running for, the kind of alumni that that program has served to the industry. So that is something that definitely has that initial impression and callback, in the industry, when we go out in the industry to connect. And MBA becomes this conversation starter, so to speak, and it becomes like this entry wedge. If you don't know somebody, you can just say, hey, I'm from this college, and then they're like, okay, oh, I'm from this college, and then you start sort of ice breaking over some sort of that conversation. So these kind of things help you in those initial leadership connect phases. And so that's the first part of it, which is the brand. Of course, as a student, when I am supposed to make the decision, I would urge students to also keep that aspect in mind. But the second part, which is the most important part, which is what the college does on a day-to-day basis, or what the program really constitutes. um, I think a good MBA program, in my opinion, has to have a couple of things. One is this um, at least you should have like a 70-30 ratio of good faculty to sort of great faculty to good faculty. I would put it like that. And that's the difference between the tier A and tier A E minus and B colleges, that this ratio keeps on varying. In every college, we will find amazing professors. They will have super expertise over their subject, and they will make you fall in love with that subject. And they will make you, grasp those concepts like they were nothing. That ratio keeps on changing. So, as a student, we can sort of grasp from the amazing teachers, pick our favorite subjects, because MBA is a finishing school.
And I think that is a transition because, as I personally also believe, being from a management background, sometimes people say that I want to choose this subject as my specialization,
Right.
but it is all about transition. So maybe you get a very good faculty and you are not so interested in particular subjects, say economics, right? And the way they have explained you the economics, maybe your interest in areas of finance and microfinance and macrofinance are more, I'll say,
I think you bang on, you hit the point on the nail. That's what I mean, because from my personal experience, I had no exposure to eco and finance and in macro, corporate finance and all, business law, nothing. I'm a hardcore engineer, physics padhiya, chemistry padhiya. So, um, when I went in my first year, these subjects are mandatory, and till date, it's been I. This was 2017 when I studied this course. Today is 2025. As clear as a day, I remember my professor. He was an ex RBI governor, and he was teaching us macroeconomics, and that teacher made that subject one of my favorites. And to the extent that I started, having this orientation towards understanding what the macro trends are, how the economies of the world are working, how finances are working, how these bubbles work together, how power dynamics shift, and it just it unravels this domain of knowledge that you never knew previously existed. And it opened so many doors of conversation and just general insight for me personally. Same with marketing. I'm a marketing guy. But my professor, Presh Bharadwaj, such an enthusiastic professor. He made me fall in love with marketing 101. The Kotler, that book that we have,
Philip Kotler,
Philip Kotler.
from 4 Ps to 9 Ps.
So definitely professors play the first and foremost role in shaping the quality of the program that exists. And if a student truly wants to get feedback of a program, just go on Reddit and just connect with some alums, go on LinkedIn and just ask about the professors and then go through their profiles. Go through the profiles of the professors that teach at that particular university. And that will give you a great insight into how amazing that program can turn out for you. So that is one aspect. And then, of course, there are things like the pedagogy of the industry that has been connected with that program. So every company has some favorites in the B school uh, circuit, placement circuit, So they have had good results with certain colleges. They've had not so good results with certain colleges over their experiences. So they keep these trends. Say a Deloitte will go to these, five colleges and with these five profiles year on year. So same way a Britannia will go to these colleges year on year, or so those kind of pedagogy, pedigree that sort of establishes helps a college to get their students placed right, get their students involved right, which is a very big aspect of the MBA journey as well. At the end of the day, knowledge is just a fraction of the MBA journey. Every aspirant joins an MBA for the placement, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's okay. It is the truth, and we should be very clear. That's my belief. We should not be deluded that oh, I'll gain some new knowledge and then I'll pivot to a new stream and a new industry and it'll be all rosy and so these are some myths around MBA also, I would say. What an MBA should look like, or what an MBA expectation should look like. They're driven by these high packages that we read in newspapers of IIM graduates, and these are exceptions of 1 crore mil gaya usko 80 lakhs mil gaya and all of that. They set these false expectations for majority of MBA aspirants from the industry level as well. Because when you get out into the industry, then you realize that general packages are nowhere near that. Those obscene numbers, and they are not even required to be like that. Maybe sometimes they're packaged like that. There'll be ESOPs and there'll be, shares and all of that, which is not coming into your bank account, but they'll just be part of that CTC. So there's a lot of layering beneath this information that goes out in the market. Usual metrics for a good MBA program is what? Highest placement, maximum amount of, top package, maximum number of companies visiting. I would say that the quality of the companies and the quality of the professors, these are the one of the two major aspects that should define the decision of selection for any MBA aspirant, because they're the most important pillars.
I appreciate that. And even when I am myself counseling the students, my perspective is don't look. See, students are generally of a view like, look, tell me about the placements, and they start on on a vice versa aspect.
Yeah.
I believe first you check upon the leadership team. First to see who's the person behind, who's the vision behind, mission behind, who's running the show, who's the captain of the ship, and also about your faculty, as you rightly mentioned from your experience. So now coming to this is the MBA journey of yours, and I'm sure many students must be taking their point of view, right? How they should select their MBA college from this conversation about your professional journey. Now, if I'll touch upon right now, you've been working as a technical solution architect, right? It takes me a lot of time to interpret and analyze, this particular role which you are handling, and because your role is very, very value driven and very, very, I'll say, impact driven, because any decision that you are changing at a technology implementation level is implementing affecting directly 30,000 of your own employees. HDFC is a big company, it's a huge giant, and as well as they have lakhs and lakhs of and crores of customers. So even a small glitch can really make the heavens fall down. So please explain us, how does your profile, what is your profile like as being a technical solution architect and being young MBA aspirants, how I can probably connect myself with your kind of journey or your kind of role that you are handling as a change manager or a strategy driven IT solution architect.
So, solutions architect, if I have to simplify that term, it is very simple. It is basically a bridge between business goals and technology solutions. So, what we do is we understand what the requirement of the business is, the business vertical, business unit, a particular department, a particular product, and then we marry that to the best technology that is out there that can solve that problem. So it can also basically, this is a subset of digital transformation. So digital transformation is something that has been on for the last 10-15 years for all corporates, majorly Indian corporates, where they are moving from their traditional way of working or storing data and information into a more digital led organization. All the systems are being digitized. Government of India is a very good example. Everything is getting digitized. So if the government of India can get digitized, of course the corporates are way ahead. So that is primarily the role of a technical solutions architect, where a day to day would be how. So it basically marries the management aspect in the um, sort of marriage between what the business requires and what should we implement. This is basically like a conversation. This is a translation of a business problem into a scalable and a secure solution. And then there is the engineering aspect to this, which is the technology part, which is understanding the technology, which is understanding the nuances behind it, the actual maybe some sort of technical jargons around it, and understanding what goes with what, how to interpret A from B, from Java to Ruby to Python to C++. What is the primary difference? Going beyond the jargon, there's so much technology out there. Not everything is applicable for an organization. You have your organization running. I mean, half of the work is done through Excel, but we have 10 different ways of transforming data. So am I fitting your requirement with a bazooka? I'm getting you some 1 crore solution, and I'm saying that you do this or you do that, or am I giving you the leanest solution possible which is fitting for your need? Are you requiring speed? Are you requiring agility in your particular use case? Are you requiring scale in your particular use case? Am I going to serve 50 lakh customers? What is the quantum of data that I have? Am I doing like a blockchain thing, which is very specific, very, POC niche driven, or am I doing something which is large scale, like Aadhaar masking, which is, crores and crores of documents. So so that is the job profile, where you are in a particular industry, and this is an industry agnostic job profile. You can be a technical solutions architect almost in any industry. Um, so so yeah, I think that is what is most of the, how a day looks like would be, there will be a lot of project management. There will be a lot of ideation around what should be done. um, there will be a lot of thought behind what more can be done, what better can be done. And then so all of that constitutes into change management. Then based on the size of the organization, since I work for HDFC Life, there's so many people, too many silos, I would say. It's not such a lean organization, right?
When you say about transformation, and I can see a very, I'll say, interesting insight from while talking to you. I could think. I mean, I was just thinking, being from an engineering background, from mechanical engineering, working with quality testing of a automobile giant, graduating into your management journey from a marketing specialization, and then now working as a digital architect and talking about terms like a software engineer, like Python, Java, blockchain, and not talking, you have to understand the nitty gritties, because you have to, till the time you not understand. So that gives me a point how flexible and how agile a person or a manager or a strategist has to be in the current dynamics, in the current scenario. If you are thinking that I'm a this skill based expert, maybe in the times to come, with that, with this AI thing and transformation happening, maybe you are not required. So what I'm just trying to interpret is from your experience and your journey, that when you are speaking so swiftly about Python, Java from a management background, so that gives me a wow, that what an openness and what kind of open learning you need to have throughout and through, for right, to be market ready and to be subject, to be absorption ready any point of time.
100%. I think this is a very pressing concern in every student's mind today, that how the job market is changing with the advent of AI, with the adoption of AI. There's major layoffs that are being reported everywhere. So there's a lot of negative energy in the market, so to speak, right now. And yes, it is very transformative for a lot of employees, for a lot of type of jobs. I would say that they will become obsolete very soon, and it becomes the need of the hour to be very flexible, to be like how we discuss in our peers, that the age to learn has is sort of constantly reducing. The time to learn new things. Previously, like in 1990s, somebody used to learn a skill, it used to last them for 10 years, 15 years. Then came 2000, you used to learn some language, it will at least last you 5 7 years.
Yeah.
But today in 2025, you learn something, and then maybe 6 months later it's not there,
Vanished.
it's vanished. That whole technology will go away. So so we have to be constantly ready to learn new things. It does that mean that we cannot be a specialist of anything? Maybe not, because the idea of specialization is transforming with the advent of AI. AI is this assistant that is augmenting us to be a specialist in almost everything.
So, do you feel that AI, because you pressed upon a very important aspect of AI, which has transformed everyone's life from from top to bottom, right? From corporates to individuals, from kids to adults, right? But in the current scenario, especially with respect to market, and when you are sitting on the top level leadership of a company, driving technology initiatives, how do you foresee AI being a disruptor or being the opportunity giver? First question. And the second part of my question is, as an MBA graduate, how I shall focus upon my learning, my skill set, and my curriculum to be with respect to AI ready or market ready. So please share your insight on this AI aspect.
Big topic, and so much everybody is speaking on, and I can only give my personal opinion, which also keeps changing, I think, day on day basis. um, Is it a boon or is it a blessing? I think that was the first part of this question.
Yeah.
It's definitely the biggest blessing that we have invented as a technology. I think that after the advent of the Google search engine, this is the first real revolutionary B2C product, I would say, that has changed the way we are interacting with the computers, that has changed the way we are interacting with technology in general. And that is the promise that this technology holds on the table in reality. Is the noise around it maybe too much? Yes, definitely. Is there a buzz that is market created? Yes, definitely. Is there a push by the industry leaders to make this successful? Yes, definitely, because they have billions of dollars invested in this. They cannot afford to let it fail. Uh, but does the technology hold promise? Yes, 100%, 200%. And that is why everybody is betting on it. Um, it is definitely a blessing, and it is very revolutionary in the way that we are approaching skill building, I would say. So, what previously used to take X amount of time and X amount of money, now both of these things, I can't really comment about the money bit because maybe this is subsidized right now. This might get more expensive to use later, but as far as time effort goes, there's a substantial reduction in our day-to-day aspect of how we are approaching things, and more than that, it allows us to explore, and this is a very key point. It allows us to explore things that we've not done before. There is this lesser fear when you're working of being wrong, of being judged in a meeting, because you can verify what you are saying with 10 different AI tools, and you can gain that confidence that okay, what I'm saying is right because of 15 different reasons. So even if you're not experienced in a particular area, with the use of common personality aspects and communication aspects, and how to influence people, how to drive change, all of these softer aspects, you can still solve any problem, because technology and the jargon and all of the other stuff is now taken care of by AI. And that is primarily how I have shifted as a manager.
Second part of the question is how the young management aspirants shall shape themselves, shall shape their education, shall shape their skills and the learning in the current AI.
So this is what I would say, that start, don't be afraid of using this. Make it your friend. Incorporate in your day-to-day being. There should not be any shame of using AI. There should not be any shame of saying, "Oh, I chat GPT'd this. Oh, I searched it on Claude." Um, that is the first and the foremost thing. So once we start adopting this in our day to day, we will stop looking at it as a sort of a shortcut. This is an assistant. So there is a very primary difference between it becoming a tool to just simply copy paste versus it becoming a tool to augment your thinking. You can do your assignments through ChatGPT. You can do all your projects through ChatGPT. In MBA, we used to do refer books and all of that in 2017. All of these printed handouts and all of that we used to get to solve our projects. We used to Google, go on, these read these annual reports. Annual reports we used to read, and then we used to take out numbers out of that and all of that. Do you need anything? Just type, to go search, last 20-year annual report, give me this, give me that, this is my process, this is my objective, this is my this. It'll give you everything. That's the part where the next step starts, because now you've saved this all of this time doing all of this primary research. Now what you need to do is look at this data and make your decision, which is the job of a manager. The job of a manager, while data collection is the aspect that enhances the decision making, the core job of a manager is to take the decision. So with the AI, the time to decision is far lesser, and the confidence of the decision is far higher as a manager. That is something that aspirants should realize and imbibe in their own journey of becoming a good manager and going on this leadership ladder. Every great leader is referring to AI as their own brainstormer, thought provider, note taker, bouncing ideas. So these are some interesting use cases that MBA aspirant should look at rather than just typing in their assignment question straight up, and then taking that output and then putting it on a humanizer and then taking that output and putting it in their project. That dumbs down the whole thing and defeats the purpose of everything. So, so my two cents on this would be to not use this as a shortcut, not
Yeah.
take this as a shortcut. Use this as an assistant that augments your day to day, that augments your thought, that gets you rid of your mundane stuff. That helps you not do the mundane stuff and more do the creative and decision making stuff, the stuff which is soft, which AI can't do. Influencing, AI can't do. Communication, AI can't do. It can't communicate a room full of people that your idea is the best idea, that this
Yeah.
is the way this should be taken forward, that this is the decision that will save you the most amount of money and give you the maximum returns. Because these are bets that we take based on some data. At the end of the day, no matter how much the data speaks, there will be a certain level of decision making for which leaders like us are groomed for. So that is my view of AI and how we should take it forward.
I think that's a very, very intense discussion that we had, from like transformation, digital journey, to artificial intelligence, to management, right? Your role, your transition from engineer to. So we had enough and enough of a discussion. And yes, I mean, this brings me to a lot of insight and a personal learning for myself as well. And I believe this will come up as a learning for so many aspirants who are really, really serious aspirants, right? And they want to take some insights, some inputs out of that, learning from a seasoned industry professional sitting on the top lines and seeing the world view from that eagle's perspective. So yes, and it was a very, very interesting conversation with you, Mr. Madhusudhan Goyal, right?
Energy.
And yes, your journey beautifully shows how technology management and your continuous learning has came up, right, to shape up this beautiful real impact that you are making in your professional association, in your professional journey. And for all the listeners out there, I just simply say stay curious, stay adaptive, stay flexible, and keep learning, keep evolving every day, every day. Market is ruthless, dynamics is ruthless. You need to be much smarter to survive and to sustain and to do best in your professional or personal aspects, right?
Yeah, I think Anuji, my last message to all your students would be to stay hungry, constantly have the desire to keep learning, and keep pivoting based on the market requirements, and keep the basic tenets in place, which is how to communicate, how to influence, how to lead with good decisions, how to apply structured thinking to unstructured problems. Some of these basics students should keep constantly working on. These are skills that never go out of fashion, and they are sort of driving all the other things that we do day to day in our jobs. So as before, a few years, I also used to feel that what do leaders do? They do such complex work. They do, so much work. What are they? You must be doing this, blah, blah. But if you study them up close, if you spend hours with which I got the opportunity to, you realize that at the end of the day, they are also doing the same stuff. It's just the quantum of the decision making, the scale at which they are operating is far different and has a far bigger impact than what we are doing. So that's it. I think be confident and best of luck to all your aspirants.
Yes, and you're very right, very, very to the point. And thank you very much for sparing your beautiful insights, for sparing your time. And I believe the message will go loud, the message may sail through, and students and the people, industry leaders, everyone across, they may take their, and drives out of this beautiful conversation. So, last message, last words, which I would like to say, that yes, everyone, future of the business belongs to those who can blend strategy along with innovation and continuous learning. So when you say stay hungry, I'll say stay foolish also, right? Because keep learning with the attitude that I don't know anything. That will keep you humble and that will keep you pushing towards learning new things without being arrogant and without being, like judgmental towards yourself, right? Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sparing your time. And I think this will be a beautiful session. And we'll keep calling you again and again as and when, right, your availability is there to guide our student, to guide our followers on other insights as well. Thank you very much.